The Curse of La Llorona is the third spin-off from the Conjuring films, and overall, it's pretty meh. Let's get into it. What's up, everyone? Jonathan Thames here, and welcome to the Multimedia Megafan channel. The Curse of La Llorona was released in 2019 and directed by Michael Chaves, and also features performances by Linda Cardellini, Raymond Cruz, and Tony Amendola, who returns in his role as Father Perez, whom we were introduced to in the first Annabelle movie. This movie is actually the directorial debut film for director Michael Chaves, who also went on to direct the third Conjuring film, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which I thought was decent enough, though it did fall a little short of the first two movies in terms of its less finesse delivery with pacing and character. That said, I think it's evident from both of these movies that Michael Chaves learned a lot from this project and showed a decent degree of evolution with the third Conjuring movie. I will say the movie has an appealing look and feel overall, and actually features some pretty decent cinematography. There's actually a really well done long moving shot that establishes the main characters at the beginning that I thought was really well executed, and there are several moments like that throughout the movie with some really good camera work. Unfortunately, though, this movie just really didn't do it for me overall for the most part, and similarly to The Nun, I walked away from it feeling pretty underwhelmed, and felt like there wasn't much value added to the larger story of the franchise. The difference is, I can understand why The Nun was made to begin with, and the need it was supposed to meet, but I really have a hard time trying to justify the need for the existence of this movie. The only recurring character we get to see from the franchise is Father Perez, and his presence is pretty minimal in the movie. In fact, without giving anything away, I will say that his character merely serves to provide exposition into the backstory of La Llorona, who is the main evil entity in the movie, and as an introductory vessel for Raymond Cruz's character, who is supposed to serve as the story's hero. Though I will say, his performance in this versus his performance in Annabelle is way better. And I'm glad that we get a chance to see the better side of Tony Amendola's acting abilities, but past that, there's really no connection to the larger universe at all, which I could actually get over pretty easily had this been an interesting story that stood out well on its own, but it really isn't. The story centers around the legend of the damned spirit of a woman who drowned her children in a jealous rage after catching her husband with another woman as a means to punish him, but then drowns herself out of guilt and is cursed to roam the earth for all eternity, seeking children to take their place. It's set in 1973 Los Angeles, where the spirit targets the two children of a widowed CPS investigator named Anna, played by Linda Cardellini, who I think does a pretty good job in this movie, though I would say she isn't really given a whole lot to work with from the dialogue or the writing altogether. It's actually kind of a shame because I feel like the story and setup aren't bad, and could have made for something pretty interesting and scary, but what I think is actually pretty underwhelming about this movie are the individual scenes that make it up, especially the scenes that are meant to deliver fear and suspense. There are a good bit of scenes that set up an event that's supposed to introduce an element of fear into the sequence, and it's supposed to carry through into a thrilling conclusion that leads into the next segment, but that often comes off as extremely underwhelming due to the fact that the resolutions arrive way too quickly and feel way too simple. If the situations are too easy and too quick to resolve, then the stakes don't feel super heavy, even when they're supposed to. And the majority of these scenes are bait and switch with a lot of fake outs, when you're set up to believe that something bad could really happen, but then it becomes very obvious very quickly that it's not going to go anywhere. I would have to say that my favorite part of the movie was probably Raymond Cruz's performance and character, who has some pretty great dialogue, though I definitely think a little more direction on the range of emotional dynamics behind his line delivery would have greatly benefited the character and made him much more entertaining to watch. Anyone that saw his performance in Breaking Bad knows that Raymond Cruz is extremely capable of delivering a very energetic and charismatic performance, so I'm inclined to believe that the somewhat stiffened or safe performance given in this is due to a lack of direction, which I just feel like in this case is simply the result of inexperience for a first-time feature director who's still figuring things out. Overall, I give the movie a rating of 5 out of 10, and lightly recommend that even fans of the Conjuring universe can comfortably skip it without missing anything that adds any value to the franchise. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a terrible movie by any means, as it does have some qualities that were pretty decently executed, but the writing and pacing of the characters and the story did little to keep my interest or to keep me engaged throughout. But that's just my opinion. If you've seen the movie or you decide that you want to go check it out after watching this review, come back and let me know in the comments what you guys thought about it. I want to thank everybody for watching today's review. I hope that everybody out there is doing well, and I'll see you all in the next video.